Shabbat Shalom. This week we read the Torah portion of Shlach Lecha, which is the story of the spies who are sent by Moses into the land of Canaan to look at the land and see whether or not the children of Israel can conquer it. It's a complicated story and we'll discuss it further on Saturday morning. But what I actually want to talk about with you now is a very small little story that happens right before the end of the Torah portion. It is the story of the wood gatherer on Shabbat. Mysteriously, some man decides that on Shabbat, when the people are supposed to rest, to gather wood. The people see it, they seek out guidance, God tells them to stone this person until he dies, and they do it. End of story. It is a complicated story. So much so that many of the commentators suggest that it didn't happen here at all. It's placed here in the Torah because it happens right before the paragraph about the tzitzit, the last paragraph of the Shema, and it's a reminder there what happens if we don't follow the rules. Many commentators believe it happened right after they received the Ten Commandments and had been given this injunction to celebrate and observe Shabbat, and therefore the people reacted so strongly. I don't know. What I can tell you is the way they handle this Shabbat error, or the way they look at Shabbat in the Torah, is much the same that I did when I was a little kid. Shabbat was, for the most part, an element of what, or indicative of what I was not allowed to do, or what was prohibited to me. As I got older, I began to see some of the joys of Shabbat, and I began to reframe the story of Shabbat not by what was prohibited, but by the opportunities it afforded me. Now, as an adult, I can't imagine life without Shabbat. I can't imagine life without that moment, that time each week where we can take a break and actually be with one another, completely and utterly present in the moment. The new Shabbat, the Shabbat of my adulthood, is much better than my childhood. I imagine the way we look at Shabbat now is better than the way the children of Israel looked at it as well. Either way, Shabbat has become the epicenter of Jewish observance, of Jewish culture, and is the very thing that oftentimes unites us as a people. Shabbat Shalom.